Hi, Ink Slingers. I hope everybody can hear me. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to drop in. We got about 3 minutes till 6 o'clock. And I'm hoping that some people come visit me while I tell you all this wonderful information. And stop singing. Anyhow, you may hear my chair squeaking. I have the squeakiest chair on the planet, and I'm fidgety because I have a hurt knee, and that makes me fidget. You might hear my cat and dog run through because they think this room is theirs, and it's really not. The cat may come through and be angry I'm sitting in her chair, right? Because apparently it's hers, not mine. And hi, Amanda. I'm so glad you came. I'm excited. I have notes. So if you're I'm gonna be looking over here at my notes. Don't mind me. Chairs squeaking, dogs, cats. My husband may come home from work and his truck's loud. So, oh, and there's chickens outside this window. We have chickens, and they've gotten loose and they're running around the front yard. And that's my husband's problem because they're his chickens. But you may hear them too. Who knows? All kinds of crazy stuff can happen. That's because cats rule the world. You know, she really does. She's my little princess. I absolutely love her. She's spoiled. And my husband hates her, so it works out perfect. She loves me. Do you have cats, Amanda? You're just killing time. Just visit with me because I'm waiting for people to drop in. Yeah, here she comes. Oh, well. So, let's see. I know there's a delay, and so we'll live with that. And the spoiled. See, cats should be spoiled. That's how they should be. That's the way of it. Meow. So, can you hear me okay? Does my voice sound, it sounded really tinny to me, kind of like a little echo, but as long as you can understand me, we'll have to live with it. I need a new laptop, and as long as this one keeps chugging along, I keep putting it off because that's how things roll. So yeah, I hope everybody can hear me okay. I tested it and it sounded funny, but at least clear. Perfect. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Amanda. And I did have some little pixelating at the bottom for a split second when I logged on, but then it went away. Our weather's clear here, so I'm thinking we should be okay. In fact, you may hear the air conditioners kicking on because Lord knows it's reached 70 in Washington, and we had to break out the portable air conditioners and put them in all the windows in order to sleep because, you know, Washington State, anything over 65 and that's hot. I don't want it. So, oh, good. Picture's clear too. Okay, so sound check, picture check. We're good to go. And it may just be you and me, Amanda, although I know that Linda said she's coming in. She's going to field questions for me. So I think we'll give it, well, it's 6 o'clock, so we may just get rolling and this will be it. And people can jump in as they jump in because I have a lot to cover tonight. A lot. So I'm going to give it like 2 more minutes because Linda's not here. So. I am near Seattle. I am actually on the east side of the Sound, near Tacoma. South Sound, east side. And yeah, it was 80 Monday, and we knew it was going to be, so my husband dug out the air conditioners out of storage, and it's like, oh, we just went from using the heater like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. It was really cold. So, well, and there's me fidgeting. So, okay, let's get this party started. Oh, it is beautiful here. I do love it. I wouldn't trade the green for, I'm a California girl. lived in California till my mid-30s, and I don't miss it. I love it here. I love how green it is. California's already brown. It's already brown. I don't even have to be there. No, it's brown and dirty and dusty, and everything's green here, and it'll be green until the end of summer. So I love it up here. So let's get started, though, and people will drop in as they drop in. So I'm going to try not to just stand here and read this, okay? I'm going to try not to be like, but I took a lot of notes to get through the information in a clear, concise manner. So we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the statistics of Pinterest and why Pinterest can't be ignored. We really need to be using Pinterest as authors. I'm going to talk about the best practices for Pinterest, because we need to, as authors, we need to think of ourselves. We are small businesses. We're micro businesses. And we need to be thinking of marketing as a business would market, and that involves Pinterest. It really, and many other things. And I'm going to talk about how to use Pinterest first as a business from that point of view, and then we're going to drill down and talk about now how does an author utilize that, because authors are such a niche. It's such a strange thing to be in business classes and marketing school and stuff as an author, because they say all these broad, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it if you've read, you know, done webinars and stuff on marketing, and they say these broad comments and these statements, and you're like, but I'm an author. How does that affect me? How do I, and they're like, oh, well, yeah. And they give you some flip comment, and it doesn't give you the details you need. Authors have such specific needs when it comes to marketing, and that's why I've decided to go to school. But anyways, enough about me. Oh, yeah, see, and Amanda, I always thought of it as a hobby thing, too, until this last semester, and I was just, like, blown away. So the first thing that we want to talk about is the stats. I mean, I know that you can think of it as a hobby, but let's start with this. 200 million monthly users on Pinterest, monthly. 200 million. It's not as big as Facebook, but it is a huge audience. And half of all millennials use Pinterest. So if you look at it for us, for authors, okay, Romance Writers of America, I'm a romance author, so that's the first statistic I'm going to look at, right? Our target audience is 25 to 39-year-olds, okay? The future of romance is in those younger numbers, right? But that's our target audience. It's a pretty broad band. 68% of all U.S. women, 25 to 54, use Pinterest. How do you ignore that? Our target audience is on Pinterest. We have to use it, okay? Now, if you want to drill out and be less focused on romance, if you just want to talk about fiction in general, in 2016 and 2017, 25% of Americans didn't read a book. 25% of Americans didn't read a book, okay? That means 75% of Americans reportedly read a book in those years. 3/4 of America read a fiction novel of some sort. So even if you're not a romance author and you want to ignore those statistics, you can ignore 75% of the country reading fiction. So if half of the millennials are on Pinterest and 75% of those people are reading books, okay, so I think I've proved my point there. So I'm going to move on. This is why we need to be on Pinterest. One more statistic. 2/3 of pinners have discovered a new brand on Pinterest. Not books, okay, just a brand in general. 93% of Pinterest users plan new purchases via Pinterest. They look for things on Pinterest to buy. I mean, what more do you want, right? So, okay, as authors, we need to be on Pinterest. You guys got it. I know. I'm drilling it in, but people think it's just a hobby site. It's just a, oh, I want to craft or something. No, there's so many more levels to Pinterest, and we're going to talk about that now. So, when using Pinterest for a small business, okay, first I'm going to talk about how you use Pinterest for a small business. As a small business using Pinterest, one of the things you want to do, I'm just going to click on, oops, did I just go away? I'm sorry. I am trying to fiddle with my Facebook to see if there's any messages, and I'm going to just try to do that. Is this working? Yes, that works. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here, and what I'm doing is I'm looking to see if there's any error messages in our group to make sure everybody that can get in is in, and it looks like, okay, it looks like everybody is, so I'm not getting any error messages there. I'm sorry about that interruption. I wanted to double check and make sure that I wasn't missing anything. So moving on, in order to convert your hobby Pinterest page into a business page, you need to think about the breakdown. All you have to do is go onto Pinterest as yourself, and then you click convert my account. Once you convert to a business, you cannot convert back, okay? So if you want to, you need to, before you do this step, you need to think about what parts of Pinterest you want to be your hobby, your personal page, just like Facebook. What belongs on your personal page, what belongs on, it is simple to convert. But you want to think about it, because once you convert, you have to contact them, which is a difficult process, and get it reverted back, because you may not want all of your boards to be on Pinterest as your brand. You see what I'm saying? So you may want the things that are related to your brand. You may want to build one for your pen name and have one for your personal. You're going to require 2 separate emails for that. And then convert your pen name one to a business page, which is really cool, because once you do that, you get your little profile picture, and then there's these angled tiles across. I'm sure you've seen them on business sites. It's how you know it's a business site versus a personal site. It doesn't have the big picture in the back anymore. It has all these tiles, and they're tiles of your pins. And if you choose one of your boards to be your book covers, and then you click that as what you want tiled behind your brand name, you've got all these tiles running of your covers behind your brand name of your author pen name, which is really cool. It's simple to do, but you need to be mindful of what you're setting up before you do this type of converting, because once you convert, you can't undo it without their help and getting a hold of anybody. You know how that goes. So if you decide, okay, I want my pen name to be my business page, and then I'm going to do my personal stuff over here. I'm going to drill down later and talk about what's appropriate for each. But right now, that's the first decision you want to make before you convert, okay? And the really good thing about converting from a personal page to, a lot of people already have, and they're doing fine, trugging along with just using a personal page. But if you switch over to the business page, you get analytics, and you get to track a lot of information. You get to track who's pinning from your site to their boards, because you're going to link your website to the Pinterest. You get to track where the traffic's coming from, what they're looking at. There's a whole world of analytics available to business pages that's not available to normal users for Pinterest. The next thing is, once you set up your business page, you want to use a profile of your face, okay? Not your logo, your face. You've got all of your whatever tiled behind you, whether it's your blog post photos or your book covers or whatever you've chosen back your background. How do I say this? I get a lot of flack, even inviting guests to talk on Facebook Live, because they don't want to be seen. They don't see themselves as fashionable. They don't see themselves as whatever. They want to be incognito in the background with their logo up there and no faces. Here's the deal. You are not here. Yeah, look at me. My hair's a mess. It's the end of the workday. I've been at work 8 hours, 10 hours. I've done physical therapy. I'm a hot mess. I got my double chins hanging out. It's part of life. I am a real person. You're not here to see me because I'm a fashion guru or whatever. That's not why you're here. You're here for information. But seeing my face makes it personable. I'm not a robot. I'm a real person talking to you about things that you can apply to your business. Nobody wants to hear that from a logo. Fact, let's add some facts behind that, okay? Businesses with a photo of a person to interact with, aside from their logo, okay, but logos have their place in the business world, obviously. But if your profiles don't have a picture of a face, businesses with a picture of a face do twice as much interaction online. Hi, Linda. That's okay. Jump in. Listen. It's great. I'm glad you made it. Linda's going to field any questions. When I get through this whole thing, I'm going to answer any questions. In the meantime, I'm just going to power through so that I can stay on topic. And if it goes, you know, it's going to probably go a full hour. I have so much information. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Businesses with a photo of a person on their profiles get 2 times the interaction, okay, as an avatar. Okay, you can't use an avatar or a logo. You need a face on these profiles. And nobody cares about your double chin or your messy hair, okay? We just don't. We're there for the information. We're there for the interaction. We're there for the people part of it. And you need to get over yourself. If you want to do business, you need to do business. And go fix your hair before you come on. I obviously didn't tonight because I need to get on here and give you this information. And if people are going to judge you for that rather than get the value of what you're offering, then they weren't there for the information in the first place, okay? There is, yeah, twice as much. I'm telling you, college is paying off, Amanda. So it's worth it to change your logos, okay? So anyways, so what you want for your profile picture: head, shoulders. None of this, you know, duck face, none of this, your full body or, you know, whatever. It can be outside. Natural light is great. It doesn't have to be a professional photo shoot, but those are nice if you can afford those. But if they're not, just have someone take a nice picture of your shoulders and head. Be smiling, you know, and it can be from different angles. It can be from above to get rid of the double chin. I mean, it doesn't have to be straight on, this is me seriousness. It's not about that. It can be at the beach, but it needs to be here. You need to be a person that people can interact with so they know they're not talking to a robot. Or better yet, when you're shopping and all you see is that and you don't see any personable comments and any personable faces and stuff, you get a little leery. Is there anybody out there? Am I just talking to machines? Does anybody care about my problem that I need solved? So anyways, off my soapbox. I have lots of these soapboxes. They're gonna stack up tonight, okay? So also, before you add those photos to your profile, rename them. Have them be with your pen name. You know, Renee Charles biopic. The more, if you just have some generic code as your photos, the more they're named properly and the names match and everything's tied together, the more SEO power you have. I did not know this, and I was blown away. I throw up pictures all the time with this stupid little code because nobody sees it. If you name the pictures proper. And for your blog posts, for everything, if you name, you know, the picture, linking it to the blog post, your SEO ranking will go up. Okay, didn't know that either. And the next thing you're going to do after you get that picture set up on your business profile is you're going to link and confirm your website. So it's going to have a little prompt, and you're going to put in your website. It's going to go there. It's going to check it, and then what's going to happen is this allows when anytime someone pins, so you're away from Pinterest, okay? They're on the internet and they go to your website, they find you, and they pin something from your website to their board, so it's not tied to you in any way, your Pinterest board in any way, you're going to get those analytics. It's going to tell you because your website is attached to your, what do they call it, is confirmed. So you really want to make sure that that link is built so that you can track all your information. Then you're going to start creating and organizing boards. Something to know about that. The top 2 rows, you know, if you've been on Pinterest, you know that it goes in rows, right? In the order like this, okay? The top 2 rows are typically what gets seen. Anything below that gets seen less. I don't have the percentages on that because I didn't write them down. But just the top 2 rows, that's what you want to focus on. That's your meat and potatoes. That's what's going to sell your brand. So those boards need to be the key boards with your storyboards and things like that. And I'm going to go down later and talk about what authors should be pinning on those 2 rows. But those 2 rows are the rows that are going to get seen, okay? So one of the things you can do to gain traffic is Pinterest will let you add save buttons to your website, okay? So if you go to Pinterest, there's a place, it's http:// whatever, you know what that is, business.pinterest.com, okay? Go directly there. Don't try to find it through the Pinterest website. Just go business.pinterest.com. Go to get started, drill down to tools, drill down to widget builder. That will let you create a button for your website. It's a little piece of code that you can add to your website, and it will allow people, you can set it up, you can do a couple different buttons, and once you get to the widget builder, you'll see your options. You can have the save button, the follow button, follow a board specifically, but what happens then is as they're going around on your website, the little red pin it button will pop up on any of the photos, and then they can click it. It makes pinning stuff from your website much easier. So then, let's see. You build the little code, you grab the code, you put it on your website, simple. The next thing you're going to want to do is you want to pin regularly, but sparingly, okay? So as you're building your boards, before you have followers, it's a good time to throw a bunch of information up there. If you have followers, tread lightly. You want to pin daily, but you want to add to your board daily to keep yourself floating to the top. But it's just like Facebook. If you go in and you take everything from your website and pin it to your boards right now, you're going to fill your followers' feeds with all of your pins. And nothing irritates somebody more. Like if you're on Facebook and your entire feed shows up with somebody that's done 20 posts, it's the same thing in Pinterest. Don't do 20 pins at once because you're going to fill up your followers' feeds with just your stuff, okay? Do it timely. Do it maybe 1 to 2 a day, or a couple at a time, and then give it a rest. So don't spam your people. Let's see. Oh, when you're creating pins, for the love of God, don't just put a picture out there that you want to save. This is not Instagram. It needs to have a link, okay? So you want to create a pin. You want to put a little description under the, you know, you go pin it, and then there's a little, you put a description under it. You make sure there's a link. Whether, if it's a photo, you can link it back to your blog. You can link it back to your website. You can link it back to your books. You can link it back to, if it's an article you've read, link it back to that. I collect photos for my storyboards, link those back to some sort of content. Don't have empty photos just sitting up there. Like I said, this is not Instagram. These are links that people want to go to. So keep that in mind while you're pinning. A rich pin, what Pinterest considers a rich pin, is going to be, it's going to have your picture with the link within, you know, you're pinning a link, a place to go to, not just an empty photo, okay? But within the description, you're going to have the title, you're going to have good content description of what's involved while you're putting the pin up. You're also going to have a call to action, the pictures identified, like we discussed earlier. All of this is going to add weight and traction to your pins. Bring up your SEO, bring up your visibility, things like that. In order to create a rich pin, you also have to have metadata. So I don't know if you've ever noticed when you do a blog post or whatever, those little, or you go to a blog post and you see the little text alongside the photo, the preview, your metadata, that's the description that Google is, you know, massaging to see you, okay, or reviewing to see you. Pinterest works the same way. If you want to do those rich pins, which are going to add weight and value to your site, then the metadata from the original link, say your blog post or whatever, needs to be present as well. So all of that, just don't leave any empty spots. Fill it out when you're doing it. Don't just put a picture up, type something, put a title on it. No, go into the meat and potatoes of it and make sure you're categorizing it in your blog post. Make sure that you're filling in the SEO titles and the metadata, and then that all transfers over wherever you're pinning it. You see, if you're building blocks in the right places to begin with, it makes the pinning and stuff less work later. And then you have this opportunity for rich pins. And this is what you know, you don't have control over the other stuff you're pinning. This is just your personal brand's pins. You're also going to be pinning other stuff. The metadata I'm talking about is from the origin of the pin, Megan. So I use Weebly for my website. My blog is embedded in my website. I don't know about WordPress. I'm sure there's options in there too, but I'm not a WordPress user. I use a website. My blog is part of my website. When I'm creating a blog post, or even just the pages of my website, if you go into the SEO portion of it, there's an opportunity to type in rich descriptions, and that is what Google uses to filter and go, oh, this is a hefty piece of meat data, you know, information, and it's all filled out, so I'm going to value this higher than this flitty one that someone just threw up that doesn't have all the background stuff filled out. And that is what equals a rich pin on Pinterest, is when you're pinning something that's fully filled out, fully developed. Pinterest, on the business end of it, does have a validator to validate these rich pins before it gives the weight, and there's directions on Pinterest how to do that. So the value of this is that you get to use your analytics, your ROI, to see what your followers are responding to, so you can repeat it. You get to see what they're ignoring, so you don't post any more stuff about that. You know, those, just like ROI and anything else, which is nice to have on Pinterest, because you can actually get detailed information about who's looking at your stuff and who's repeating it. And this is, you know, you throw, Pinterest is evergreen. I mean, you throw it up there and it stays up there. It doesn't go anywhere. So when someone looks at your board and they go, oh, look at that cool thing. Oh, I can like look at their pins and stuff. It doesn't go away. That's evergreen. When you build all this rich content and it all links together, your site is going to be more predominant than, say, the site next to you who hasn't done all this work, okay? Let's see. There's also promoted pins. Just like Facebook ads and everybody else, promoted tweets, there's promoted pins. The really cool thing about promoted pins in Pinterest is that you hit promote. Say you promote to, I'm just saying something just to give you a figure, 20 people, okay? 3 of those people pin it, okay? And it does say promoted. Once they pin it, it doesn't say promoted anymore. It's become part of their boards, their evergreen boards, that's going to stay up there forever unless they decide for some reason to take it down. So that paid promotion, that tiny little paid promotion that you've done, becomes evergreen and stays out there for others to see. It's like a ripple in a pond. It's not like Facebook where you pay for it, it goes up and then it goes away almost as instantaneously, right? This stuff stays up there and gains traction. It gets a hold when somebody pins it. So I wouldn't recommend spending a bunch of money on promoted pins all the time. I would do it on your content and do it maybe when you have a book release and you're going to add a book cover and book information to your book board. Maybe that's worth promoting. It's up to you. But I'm saying that it's something to experiment with. Try it out. Do it on a small basis. See what you like about it. And then maybe, you know, you gain some traction from that. So let's see. The statistic behind that is promoted pins get 20% organic reach. So whatever you do promotion-wise will grow 20%. So it's almost like you get 20% free, because it, you know, Pinterest goes to where you, whatever you pay to send it, but then because people pin it and it trickles on, it grows 20% more than what you've paid for. So I like it. Special events, cover reveals, things like that, whatever. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how this all affects authors, because authors are like, what do I pin? What the heck, right? Okay, so you're going to create and collect pins, right? Some you're going to create, some you're going to collect. So some ideas for your boards are, you should have a board of your own blog posts, right? A board of your own books with the links and all that to your sales page. I like to make storyboards for each book or series. So like for my current work, I'm working on this book called Sarah and the Sea Captain. And I write paranormal romance. So they're Silkies. So I have like pins in there about Legends of the Silkies. I have pins in there with the stars of who I imagine my people look like. I have pins of costumes, settings, boat diagrams because he's a ship captain. You know, historical things, all this on that pin. Another one of my books is, oh, I'm going to blank on my own books. No, Only Love Survives is one, which is about zombies. So I have pins about bug out bags and things like that. Another storyboard is Changes in Autumn, which is about werewolves. And she's a vet, so I have animal pins and stuff like that there. And as if you're going to build a series, you do it all in one collection so people can see all the information on that series. That's just an idea for different boards. The Craft of Writing is a good board. Any outside interests you have that align with your genre. So, because I write paranormal romance, for me, Halloween, you know, if your series is about witches, having, you know, that, ghosts, mythology, I write about zombies, so survival is a board I like, things like that. Whatever aligns with your brand. If you're hero and heroine cook, or there's a cafe or something in the, then you recipes, you know, whatever. But you can go beyond that. I also like the idea of just having words that represent who you are as a person, because you're a person as well as an author. So I brand myself like I'm into paintball. I have a paintball board, and it's a public board. You can choose to collect things in a private view so people don't see it. So like if you're doing sexy research and you want to collect a bunch of information about S&M, whatever, you can put that information on a board and then click hidden, so it's not everybody can see what information you're collecting for writing tools or whatever you need. However, had I done that, because paintball doesn't really align with who I am as a romance novelist, right? Or does it? Okay, it's part of who I am. If people grab one of my pens and pin it, I can look at their board. If it's not public, this won't happen, okay? But it's growth. It's all, you know, social media is about connecting and branching out. So if I had hidden the paintball board, I wouldn't see when someone pinned something from it. Then I go look at their boards and see what they're following and follow those people and build those connections and find more content for me to pin back to my connection. Here's the thing, though. There's a zombie game at our local paintball field. I write about zombies. Where are my readers hanging out? Are there other people who are interested in zombies that are connecting to that board? Are they fans of zombie novels too? Maybe besides zombie paint. You don't know who you might connect with. So why limit yourself? If it's part of who you are, build a board for it and let that hang out. Just drop it lower than those first two rows. Those first two rows are for your books, your storyboards, your I do a board for recommended books to connect with other authors and lift them up, because all the connections give you weight. So if you have recommended books and you're listing that stuff, people are going to come and look for you that way and come to trust you as a person who recommends good books in their genre and follow you that way. There's so many different ways to build the connections. Don't limit yourself. Some of it you might want to keep private, you know, but unless it's really bad, I mean, really, unless you're doing research on body parts or something, wounds, and you don't want people to necessarily click on your boards and see festering wounds, but you want to do it because that's part of your research, maybe keep that hidden. But the rest of it, why? Okay? It's missed opportunities to connect. Have I got everything? Oh, if you're a smartass, have a board for bad jokes. Oh, you know, whatever. So, I've gotten through that page without even meaning to. Okay. Doesn't all have to be about books to gain followers. You want your readers do other things besides read books. They have interests, and if you can connect with them there, it all ties together. Like I said, I write books about zombies. There was a zombie game, it all ties together. So I'm rambling. Okay. So last thought. You're thinking, oh great, one more thing that I have to manage in my writing career. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks for filing. One more thing on my to-do list. It doesn't have to be that hard, okay? One of the buttons, remember I told you about going to business and getting the buttons? One of the buttons you can get is a pin it button on your Chrome toolbar at the top, way up here at the top. There's a little red P, and if you get that, then as you're scrolling around the world in your daily, just, you know, reading Facebook, whatever you're doing, and you come across an article that you think relates to you, pin it. All you gotta do is click on that red pin up on your thing, and it will give you, it will pop up and it'll say, which of your boards do you want to add this to? And you type in a description, because we don't pin anything without a description. You know the link is good because you're looking at it on the internet. You're building that link to that article, and you just pin it. How hard is that? What an easy way to do it. If you do that as your, if it becomes part of your organic process to collect the things that you love easily with a little click and a typing of why I love it, done. And then make it maybe a point once a week, or when you blog, to be sure one of your steps of blogging is putting your blog out on your board for blogs or whatever. So that part is adding a step, but the rest of it, you're already out there. Why not have that pin and just go click, oh look, I'm building content. Look, I'm gaining weight in the whole world of SEO, you know? So I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say. What time is it? 6:38? Oh, it didn't take as long as I thought it would. So are there any questions that I can field for you? And let me know if you thought this was helpful. This is what I've learned in school in the last 6 months. Some of the things I've learned in school. I've learned other things too. But I wanted to bring this to your attention because I love it and I think it's brilliant. I had no idea that Pinterest could be used like this. So if you want me to bring more information that I'm learning, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, I don't see anything popping up. I still have viewers, so I haven't run everybody off. What do you think? I'm going to wait because I know there's a lag. I'm going to have to, because I've been talking a lot, so I'm just going to have a little. I don't see any questions. Did I get all of your questions as I went? Is that why there's no questions, or did y'all fall asleep? Ooh, okay, well, if you fell asleep, I'm sorry. Try not to be boring, but there's my squeaky chair again. No questions. Oh, thank you, Amanda. I'm glad that it was good information. Sometimes I feel like I ramble. I'm often, what do you expect? But I want to make sure that there's value to my rambling if it's helpful. If it's not, then I'll just, stop it. If this is helpful, then I will, I'm studying Twitter, I'm studying Facebook, I'm studying marketing, and oh, good. I'm glad that you guys got something out of this. Oh, you're all going to go work on your, that means that even if it's just one thing that I said that helped you, then you've made my day, because that's what I'm here for, is to help and not just talk. So, okay, I'm going to wrap it up. I think that that's it. And of course, because, this is my group, I love this group, and even though I haven't been around lately, school full-time, work full-time, busted me. So, I haven't been around a lot. I am watching in the background, and if you have any more questions, just pop them on there, and I will answer as much as I can. We'll come up with some new topics. If you have suggestions for more topics or anything like that, like, hey, Brenda, what about this? What do you know about this? Throw it in just the feed. It doesn't have to be in the comments of this video. Just throw them in the main feed of Ink Slingers, and let's get a chat about it, because if you have the question, chances are somebody else has asked the question. So let's get the answers. Okay, good night and have a great evening. Bye.